you know, you don't need to fork out a fortune to bring a touch of class to your outdoor space. Here with all the know-how to create your own masterpiece at home, TV Carpenter, Wayne Perrey. Wayne, I feel like I'm coming into Wayne's world when I join you.
Should we say party time?
So sculptures, I mean, yes. Garden gnomes to enormous great granite obelisks, but you have your own ideas.
I do, and the reason, I'm going to be totally honest, over the years we've made so many gardens together, we've transformed gardens, and the green fingers haven't come my way. Everything in my garden never quite survives. But the one thing I can do, I can make stuff. So even in this dreary weather, we can have quite a bit of interest in the garden, so it still looks pretty.
I'm just looking at your teacups on stalks. I mean, they're amazing.
What's brilliant, this started originally, my grandmother gave us an old tea set, and we never used it. It wasn't an expensive one. I thought, how can I do something with it? So we kind of expanded and did, and what I love about this is I put little rubber washers on the top when I've screwed it all together, and it holds water, so birds can drink from it.
Or you can put seed in another one. Now the rod is, what is it? That
it's just rodded bar that we're using throughout here, so you could stake it in the ground, and we put them quite close together here.
Is it threaded? Or
it's just threaded bar.
Right,
threaded bar. So it can just move around as well with the wind. So if you put it against some long grasses, it can just add a little bit.
I love the fact you got a teaspoon in one.
Yeah, in my mind's eye, I'm thinking a little robin just sitting on the edge,
yes.
just looking in. But that's what I like about it. So again, all you have to do is drill through some porcelain, which is really easy to do. So all you need is a drill for this. Now this one I really love, and it's really simple. You can imagine this as a fence panel, so a dividing fence in your garden. You've got a whole row of them, and just use your kids' marbles.
So take one paling out, drill it
in. So literally, these are just little paddle drill bits that are the same size as the marbles. Drilled it through, and then these aren't even glued in. These are just literally, they just
look at that.
in.
And then presumably when the sun shines through, it shines through on the other side.
The sun comes through, and it just adds a bit of interest to a fence. Be careful if it's a dividing fence, because sometimes the way you draw through the back doesn't always look as pretty. You'll have to sand a little bit. But if you imagine that's inside your, dividing.
But again, you could use that freestanding as a piece of garden sculpture, or two or three of them, different heights.
Just stake it in at different angles.
Yeah.
So again, these, cost nothing, but it adds a bit of interest to the garden. But what I'm going to teach you to do today is these, and they're barrel rings.
So, I see they're these are the ones that are round oak beer barrels and whiskey
Absolutely.
barrels.
So once you finish with the whiskey, then these are the leftovers.
Where do you get them?
Online. So literally, they cost £5 each. So you can buy or more. It goes less the more you buy. I think I've got a pack of 10 for £40.
Crikey.
So all we do is got one of your barrel rings here. This is the threaded bar that we've used before. Put that across the top, and then you can mark out half, because you want it exactly top and bottom. One thing to note as well, the barrel rings all come in slightly different sizes, because it gets thin at the top, it gets fat in the middle, and it goes thin at the bottom. So whatever rings you use, try and get 3 the same. So I've pre-drilled one already for us. So this is the barrel ring. So what I'm going to use, I'm using a metal drill bit on here, and it's bigger than the thread. So we've got 6mm thread. I'm using a 7-8mm drill bit.
That rod will slide
through without going through. How to know which drill bit you're using? When you go to your DIY store, they tell you there's a picture of metal on the front. Yeah. So you know that drill bit will go through metal.
Yeah.
And this one.
Some of them are wood, some are metal.
Some are wood, some are metal, some concrete. So you want the metal one. So I've got this. Remember, press the right hand button. You're going righty-tighty. And you want slow and steady with this.
Right.
Okay? Put it on there. Slowly there.
And you've got a piece of plywood underneath just to take the bit when it comes through the other
because it will pop through the
Don't
bottom.
do it on the dining table, because you'll be in deep trouble.
Has that happened before?
I've learned the hard way.
And I pre-drilled all of these, right? Put a bit of thread through, and nut and bolts on the end, because it's going to go through. So we're going to thread through. And the trick with this, keep them in order. So I'm going to go through. It's hard to one there. I feel like I'm doing a magic trick.
It is. It's a bit like Tommy Cooper. Trying to get joined together.
So then we add them in. So I'm going through the first one here. Make sure you keep the same order going through. And it's worth just splitting them round, just so you've got some flex in there. One there. One there. The nut's holding that one. That bottom one there. Now we need to put a nut on this side.
Yeah.
But I've added cake stand tops. So you can buy these £3, a little bit more if you want a whole pack of them. I got these, and they're all different colours. I think I've got gold, silver, red. And then also, if you've got any spare teacups or any spare plates, you want to make a cake stand, what they're made for, then you can just
do that as well. So these are threaded, and they're threaded.
And they're exactly the same thread diameter. Yeah, which is 6mm of this.
6mm.
So then we have, obviously we tighten it up just a little bit.
Tighten it all up.
Tighten it all up. but that gives you the basic principle.
You see, if you were to go and look at that, you've got a big rusted one here.
Yeah.
I was always told by garden somebody's manufacturers, they're not rusty, they're rusted. Right? It's intentional.
Ah.
And you've got a monster here then.
And so this is the bigger barrel. And originally, I created this one to do this because I like this crisscross effect.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to rivet them together. So these are held together nuts and bolts. But if we undo this nut here, just popping it through.
So you can rivet them.
You can rivet them, and then we will just literally, I'll put a clamp there, hold it in, so it keeps it in line, because sometimes it's just a little bit tricky to line up the holes, nearly there. So that's held in position. And this is a rivet gun, and they come with rivets, right? So you put that inside there like that, put that through the hole, and it's a bit like a staple gun. You squeeze it, push it down, squeeze it, push it down, and then you'll hear a click.
Oh.
And that's it. And what it's done, it's pulled it through the back and it's held it into position.
Absolutely riveting.
Boom.
I've never been able to say that before, when it really has been true.
And the rivet gun costs like less than 20 quid for the whole kit.
Yeah.
So if you've got, a rivet gun, you could work your way around it. But what I love about this one, I only discovered this when I was packing it in the van coming here, is that if we concertina this one, and then bury a little bit in the ground, it just adds a little different element to something in the ground.
Things you can do with hoops from barrels. I love these. They're really good. Wayne, thank you very much. Just classy as well as being inexpensive, which is always a good combination as far as I'm concerned. Time now to